As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
That goes away. Hey, good morning. Happy Saturday to all of my beautiful people here on YouTube. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday so far. Lots of stuff has been going on. You know, we had some major breaking cases that happened at the end of this week. You know, we're reeling from the Brian Kohberger saga. We know about Chad Dorman. We watched the Letitia trial. We've seen all the chaos that ensued thereafter. And then we start hearing some really powerful stuff. A decade-old case has come to the search, has come to the end. The investigation has not. This gentleman, Rex, we looked up how to pronunciate his name, but I think that the Google pronunciation was incorrect because my understanding is it's Hurman, Rex Hurman. And there's multiple different names, but when we looked it up for the pronunciation purpose yesterday, Google was telling us it was Hoyerman. I've been listening to how people have pronunciated his name throughout the night, and it sounds like it's more like a Herman, but it's not. So that's kind of where we are with Rex. We're going to go over the information they have. I know that many people, other creators that you may have watched, had gone over that in detail. but so we may not go over it in detail. I'm not getting there just quite yet because we do have a breaking story that needs all of our attention, and I need you guys to share it and get involved in this case because this case is crazy, that we're going to be discussing, related to Carly Russell. I watched this. I sent it over to Olivia because I'm like, this is nuts. It is a woman that found a child on the side of an interstate and pulled over to help, called 911, and then disappeared off the face of the earth. Wig is there, phone is there, car is there, keys are there, watch is there, everything plucked, gone. Gone. But we're not going to get into that just yet, but that is what we're going to do. So we're going to be talking about just 3 cases today. I don't know how long this live is going to be. It's going to be as long as it takes to get through these 3 cases and get you guys updated. So the first case we're going to be discussing is Carly's case. It's the most important. We need to get her face out there in social media. I'm going to discuss some of the possibilities associated with this particular case as well, because this does not make me feel very comfortable. This is very scary as a single woman, as many of you guys can imagine, seeing a child, a 4-year-old child on the side of the road, an interstate road. Nonetheless, we as females would naturally stop to render aid, call law enforcement, find out what is going on. And we are going to talk about best practices in a situation like this, so that our audience, in a time of where they're helping, that they're not putting themselves in unnecessary jeopardy. At the end of the day, we have to learn from these cases as well. So I want all of my people in here, men and women, because let's face it, we love our men. They are our protectors, but they also get injured and hurt. So, and it doesn't matter how big or small you are. Everyone can be prey. So we want to make sure that we do best practices. We never, ever, ever want to tell our audience, if you see a child, drive past, right? I would never, ever do that. I would never recommend that. I couldn't. I mean, it is as much harm that can come from us, and as much as we could put ourselves in jeopardy. If I saw a child, knowing this is could be a result, I would still stop. I'm not going to be that person that I fear so much for myself that I wouldn't render aid to a child. I'm not going to, I can't even get there. It might be the wrong advice to provide. It's just for me. But we will provide best practices here for our audience in case you're in a situation like this, in case you are presented with a situation where you need to help, but you also need to make sure that you are safe. So let's just go ahead and jump in. Well, let me say good morning to a few people. And I haven't even read the language of letting go. But this case, we'll read, if we have time, we'll read the language of letting go at the end. Miss Potty Mouth, nice to see you. Gail, nice to see you. Jeannie, nice to see you as well. Net L, Angela, Just Debbie, nice to see you. James, Naomi, it's nice to have you here with us. MJ, Pam C, O Lady O, Sweet Tea and Sunflowers. That's really cute. I love that. Sean. Oh, and I wanted to say, Sean, thank you and ZA yesterday. I'm so sorry I did not acknowledge you two for the gift memberships. I know there was a few gift memberships. I've got to try to get myself back to going through the list at the end. And sometimes I just get so sidetracked and I'm exhausted by the time I'm done that I forget. I rush that last little step, right? So I'll try to get back into the rhythm. But thank you so much, and God bless you. Tutti Frutti, Kim 22, Julie, I saw you as well. Thank you so much. God bless you as well. Miko, no, did I miss my morning song? Oh yeah, I kind of switched it up a little bit this morning because I wanted to kind of dive right in. Like, we're already at 9 minutes and we're just about ready to dive into the case, and I wanted to get this case. It's Saturday. So, I work 7 days a week, at least I'm getting back into working 7 days a week. So I got to watch my time, especially on Saturday. I got a place to be today, right? So Sorry, Miko. I started getting sidetracked. Sonia, MJ, and who else? I think I said hi to everybody. If I haven't, just a big blanket good morning to the coffee crew, kitty cats, and the other folks that are in here. Because there's some people that are just coming by to say hi. No big deal, right? West Virginia Mountain Mama. It's pronounce his name, not pronunciated or whatever you said. No, pronunciation. Pronunciation. Yeah. The pronunciation of his name was incorrect from Google, because I went in there to do the pronunciation. You know, it's the where you have a little it's kind of neat because back in the day it didn't have it, but you can actually type in uh, pronunciation or pronounce, right? Pronounce. And you can write in the name, and it gives you a little bell, and it has a little voice on there that'll tell you kind of how to do it. Well, when I typed his name in, it didn't give us that little bell where they have the name recorded, and it only broke it down. It said Hoyerman. It said that it's most likely pronounced Hoyerman, and it was Hoyerman, and that's what I was doing yesterday. For pronunciation, yeah, pronunciation from Google was not accurate. Okay. Oh, I see Mike in here as well. Hi, Mike. Nice to see you. A resident defense attorney. That's just a running joke in here. You have to, if you don't know what we're talking about, you have to come around a little more. That means you're not coming around enough, right? All right, so let's just get into this. This is a serious matter. You guys saw my my thumbnail. There's Carly. She's missing her wig, so they said that that it would probably have she'll probably have rolls or braids close to the scalp. So you're wanting to look at her facial features because she's not going to have the big hair that we saw photos of. And we even had a photo of her, the last thing that she was wearing, because somebody took a picture of her as she was leaving work, or maybe leaving the place where she got food. I'm not sure where. It looked like work, possibly. But took a picture of her with like a coffee or something. She was like, hey, just like a fun little snap picture, right? But it showed what she was wearing. She was in all black with Nike tennis shoes on. And apparently when she left work, she went to get food, and then she was driving on, I think it was 459. I can't remember what road it was, like 459. I keep wanting to say 495. 459, Interstate 459. And when she looked over, she saw a young, like 3 or 4-year-old child on the side of the road. So, like any normal person would do. Normal is subjective. I realize that, but we're just going to go with, how people are, the majority of people, right? Normal people. And she saw this child. She obviously was concerned. She dialed 911 like she was supposed to do. She found this child. She stopped her car. She dialed 911. She gave 911 all the information. 911 and dispatch were en route to her. They were en route. Now, I don't know where she was on the air. We're going to look this stuff up real time here on the Bullhorn Betty channel around the location that she was. But until then, I want to read you so my audience can understand what case this is. But this is very, very scary to me, and why I picked up the case and brought it to you. A search is underway for a 25-year-old woman who went missing Thursday night after she called 911 from a highway in Hoover, Alabama. I reported to report that she had seen a toddler walking along the side of the interstate, authorities said. The Hoover Police Department reported that Carly Nicole Russell called 911 emergency dispatch just after 9:30 at night. So now I want you guys to imagine this is in Alabama. It's 9:30 at night. So you have to think that it's fairly dark. Maybe not fully dark, but fairly dark. And you got a young child walking along that very interstate. And informed them that she had stopped to check on a young child she had seen walking on the side of interstate. Hold on just a second. Let me mute you just for a second. I got to call. Sorry about that. So getting back to it, so she pulled over, seeing this child walking at 9:30 at night on Thursday, and police said after speaking to 911, she actually called family members. Many of you guys may already know this. She was on the phone with her family member. Her family member actually heard her screaming. So after speaking to 911, she immediately called a family member. During that call, the family member lost contact with Russell, but the line remained open and they could hear her. Well, I guess I should just read this. I know what's going to come up here. Hoover Police Lieutenant Daniel Lowe said in a news conference Friday, responding to officers located Russell's abandoned car along with her belongings nearby. Now, in this one, it doesn't explain what those are, unless it goes further. Okay, it does go further. A single witness has reported. Now, this is the important thing. They reported seeing a gray vehicle there and a light complected male standing there. When I hear a light complected man standing there, it sounds to me to be either a light complected black man, because I just feel like if it was a white man, or they believe that it was a white person, or say a Latina or Mexican, they would probably have described it a lot different than a light colored man. I could be wrong about that, but these are the facts. So I just wanted to put that out there to you. And but they have no further information. Russell was on her way home after picking up food. Talitha Russell, Carly's mother, told reporters that her daughter was on the phone with her sister-in-law at the time her voice dropped out. She's known to be helpful and she has a big heart. She knows not to stop for anyone, even a child on the side of the road, but she did call 911. And I think she kind of let her guard down, thinking she was so close. And when she got out of her car, she did tell my daughter-in-law, I can't leave this little child on the side of the road. Lowe said a massive search is ongoing involving local, state, and federal agents. A large group of volunteers organized by Russell's parents were also assisting in search efforts. So if you are out in that area and you want to help this woman's family, please do. There are maybe some other additional details here in the New York Times post about this. Let me pull this up. We'll read this one too, and then I'll go over what I've learned if it's not in these reports. We know she vanished. Let's see. And she's very beautiful. She's very beautiful. She's, from everybody that I hear, she was a very kind, vivacious woman and always willing to help. And helpful people sometimes are the easiest targets. But I find it odd, a child walking down the interstate. I find it odd, the child walking down the interstate. My son's girlfriend heard her ask the child, "Are you okay?" She never heard the child say anything, but then she heard her daughter scream. To me, I'm going to go over, those are the facts of the case as we know it. Okay, those are the facts of the case as we know it. That's literally all anybody has, is that she went to work, she had a normal day, she got off work, she went to get some food, she was heading home, she was just a few minutes away from home, and she sees this child walking down an interstate. And she could not, in her good heart, like many of us, this could have been any one of us. Any one of us. This is a very scary situation for me. She stopped her car to help this child. It doesn't sound like this child was communicating. I'm sorry, but something does not feel right with this child to me. Something, I am thinking that there could be a few things that are going on with this case. Okay. One, I'm going to get down. I'm going to talk to you about the ones that I think have probability, but maybe not the strongest possible probability. So we have this child. Did something happen in this child's home where this child thought it was better to flee than it was to stay? A little young child. Children know these things. Children, I mean, we even know even 20-month-olds like Quentin Simon, baby Q, right? He often ran out of his house, ran away from home to go over to his babysitter's house. Often. It was not an uncommon occurrence for him to do that. So children know, God bless them for knowing, but they know. And so I do believe, depending on the age of this child, 3, 4 years old, 3 and 4 years old children can talk somewhat. And without this child talking, it makes me wonder why this child was sheltered. Because at 3 and 4 years old, unless it's a autistic child that has, some other issues, this child should be able to say something. This child, according to them, the limited information that they have appears that this child did not speak at that time, at least that they could hear on the phone. So this to me seems ultra close. If that's the facts, if that's what ends up being the facts, then this child would live fairly close to that road. So that means the assailant could be somewhere in that general area. Because what could have happened is they knew that she called law enforcement and probably freaked out and said, "Oh my God, maybe this kid's mother is at home and being restrained, not being able to leave." This could be a number of things, but with that child walking on that road, on an interstate, that child had to come from somewhere. The child had to come from somewhere. It just doesn't get just dropped on the ground and walk down an interstate. It had to be, and you have to think of a child. A child's not going to get too far from home. We learn this with J.J. Rollins. We learn this with multiple other children that were lost out. They're usually within a mile of their home. I believe it. And that's where they probably need a first look. Because what could have happened is the person probably found out their child got out again. Now, this is possible. There could be other things going on, and now they know law enforcement is getting involved, and they lose their stuff. They lose their stuff, and they take her. They take Carly. That's one possibility. Just one. Okay. Now, these are, again, this is not supported by facts at this time. This is just possibilities. The other one is this truly was a setup. This truly was a setup, not specifically for her, but for someone. This could be an ST type of situation. The child is bait. A single unsuspecting person pulls up. Snatch. Gives me bad ST vibes. Yeah. This would be one of the ones, you guys know I'm very, very cognizant about throwing the ST around. You know that. Carjacking, her car was there, her phone was there. Things of value were left behind. Carjacking, robbery, those are eliminated because of the valuables left behind, in my opinion. In my opinion. I have now, is it possible? It could be possible. It's at the bottom of the list, but in my mind, I have eliminated that possibility in my mind that this was a robbery gone wrong. There's something else here. There's definitely something else here. But I don't throw away the ST language often. I honestly think it's utilized entirely too much when it comes to young children that have disappeared, because we know the statistics about the parents. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. And we know it does. We know it's happening at more of an alarming number than we even understand with all people. We're not talking about, this is not just women. This is not just children. This is all people, including men and boys. So this is a trade. This is the black market of human beings, right? The black market of human beings. It exists. Nobody is here to deny that it exists. But one thing you can rest assured is I don't throw that around very often. I don't throw it around very often at all. And then we have other situations, right, where this could be something totally separated from them. And here is the third one that I came up with. That it was just the wrong place at the wrong time. That she was there to help this child. This child got out. Maybe the person was a predator, came to pick up the child, an S-predator, and saw her there, single female, and decided to do something even worse than that. We have 48 hours, folks. That's typically before the percentages start going down. We have 48 hours. We have 265 people in this chat right now. 265 people. You guys can do your part by passing her photo around. We need to find her. We need to find her. The people, my friends, my family in Alabama, my coffee club family in Alabama, please do your part. Find the missing person flyer. You know how you can help? Start passing it around in your chat room. Start passing it around online. We need to find out what happened to her because time is ticking. And this is a grave situation, guys. This is a grave situation where social media can really do its part to help this family. We can. We get such a bad rap, by a lot of people. They do it intentionally. But this is something that we can do good, right? This is something that social media can do really, really well. And that's getting her picture out. That's talking about her. That's making sure that her photo is in every conversation online. We can do our part. That's what we do well. That's what we do well. We bring attention to cases and we do it well. This woman needs our help. Her family needs our help. Needs our help. Each and every one of you. I wanted to show this. She needs your help. Something happened to her. Something happened to her. Something bad, really, really bad has happened to her. We need to find her. This is all hands on deck. I want every single one of you, as you embark through your day this Saturday, you guys are going to be on YouTube. You guys are going to be on other social media platforms. Her name is Carly, and she needs your help today. She needs her face littered across social media. I have two major platforms, YouTube and TikTok. I plan on using both of those platforms to advocate for this young lady right here. You guys are even more powerful because you guys go into all these other rooms. Even when they're not talking about her, you guys can turn the conversation to her. Do it. Do it. Anybody that is on social media today and not talking about this case, you go in there and you start the conversation. Because she needs our help and we can help her. We can help her, guys. We can help find her. So please do your part. Pass her photo around, pass her missing flyer around, get into them chat rooms on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, here on YouTube, on all these other platforms that I don't go to that you may go to, Twitch, Kick, it doesn't matter. Go there and pass this lady's name around. We can help. She needs our help. She disappeared on Thursday. We are running out of time to save her. Because at the end of the day, at this point, I hope somebody picked her up for ST, because at least we know she will have to stay alive for that. Now, won't we? And won't she? We all need to say our prayers for this family. This case is chilling me, because I sit here and listen to this and I just keep thinking it could have been any one of us. Any one of us. And I know that I got a lot of people here from hate channels that watch too in the back. It could have been you too. Okay? It could have been you too. So let's advocate for this young lady, and let's help, and let's do the right thing and use our social media platform for good. For good. But that's what's scary about this case. It could have been any of us. And Rojo, it doesn't matter whether you like me or not. It could have been you too. And it could have been your family member. It could have been somebody you love. So I'm going to ask you to put your anger away for it, put it in your back pocket for a minute, and maybe take that insanity away and start looking at this from a point where it could have been your family too. So why don't you, instead of beating up Bullhorn Betty in here, go out and do your part and advocate for this young woman, because her family needs your help too. Her family needs everybody's help. It's just sad. She needs your help. She needs your help. Our family needs your help. And it's sad, because that's about as much as I can do. We don't know a whole lot. We know that her car was found at exit 10 off of 459, Interstate 459. But it's the kid. It's the kid that has me feeling like this is closer to that community than they think. It's either that or further away. Right? They just dropped the kid off there. That was the bait. They found their fish. They picked their fish up. They take their fish far, far away. And not that Carly's a fish, but this is how, you know what I'm saying? The bait. I think the child was bait. I think the child was bait. I don't know why I feel that way. Usually, and I keep thinking, it is possible again that this is something that's not like that this is just a wrong place at the wrong time. Something happened in that boy's household. The male subject that pulled up didn't want law enforcement involved, realized law enforcement was coming. Who knows? He may have said something to her or yanked that kid, and she may have said, whoa, 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 whoa. Next thing you know, she disappears along with the child, because I didn't hear law enforcement say the child was still standing there when they got there. That's the one thing I didn't hear. Now, we don't have that information. Could it be possible? Could it be possible that the child was still there when law enforcement got there and it was truly just an abduction of her? I don't believe that, because it seems like they would have a little more information. But again, law enforcement doesn't tell us everything. But when I look at probable and possible, it's possible, but not probable. Child wasn't there. JJ says the child wasn't there. Okay, thank you. So now we have the child, right, on the side of the road that she called law enforcement. I'd like to, there's a few things in their press conference that I would have liked to have asked, and that wasn't addressed. Like, what do we know what time she called or around? They didn't. I don't know if they went into specificity. Like she called at 9:34. Like the articles are saying she called around 9:30. Okay, so we have that. What is bait and switch? That's kind of what I'm feeling when I was reading this article. It's the kid. It's the kid that's kidding me. It's the kid. There's only just a few, like with this child, there's only a few possibilities in my mind that could have happened because of the kid. It's the kid. It's the kid that makes this interesting and key, because it's one of two things. The kid was either bait or the kid ran away from home. And if the kid ran away from home, that means that child and that woman are somewhere near where they were abducted from, because that child wouldn't have roamed too far from home. But then there's a whole different side of that takes us in a whole different direction, where that child was bait and she was prey. I thought it was 3. I was under the impression that this child was 3 or 4. The child could walk. So I'm just reading this stuff. Yeah, they said 3 or 4. So yeah, a 3 or 4-year-old child can talk. Trust me. Sometimes you wish they didn't. You wish it waited a couple of years, right? But this child could have been verbal. And so I have an issue with the child not speaking. But there's only 2. And I could be wrong. Like there could be something totally different, but we do have a lot more than just those 2 options. But those to me seem the most probable options. Not that the other ones don't have the possibility, and some of them have a significant probability, but I just really feel that because of the kid, it's the child walking down the road. The child had to come from somewhere. So it was either a bait and switch, or it was either someone local. Now, a key piece of evidence that we will not probably know about, and this is something we can throw out there, and this throws a wrench in both of those options. If she was taken and then somebody later came back and picked up the boy and not realized that there was anything going on. But I don't think that is the case either. It sounds like this boy was on the side of the road and then this man was in front of her. Next thing you know, she's gone. That to me sounds very, very suspicious. Not in the suspicious kind of way that I think that this child came from a close home, but it's possible. So those are, I haven't got enough. Those are the 2 ones that I'm looking at right now with this case, just because of how crazy this is. Hold on just a second. I forgot I printed out. Hold on, I gotta get another package of paper here. Forgot I printed out the Rex Pierman affidavit, and I don't think it had enough paper. Oh, it did. So I got the whole paper here. Okay. So I got the affidavit on that. But that again. So let's just talk real quick about best practices, right? Best practices. So you guys are driving down the road, right? You're done with your day. You're happy you're off work. It's Thursday night. Your tomorrow's going to be Friday. You're really happy. You just seen friends. You got a picture where you're like, hey, just everything is normal. You're just driving down the road and you see a child on the side of the road. This is my suggestion. You have to make sure, in my opinion. Now, I don't know. I'm not going to get into the legal conversation of this because, in all fairness, anybody can be liable for anything. That's why some people, they even told us when I was going to school to be a paralegal, they're like, it's horrible because it like for a layperson to give somebody else mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Do you know if you break a rib when you're giving them chest compressions, they can sue you? when you're trying to save their life. Now, granted, people usually don't, but they can. So the reason why I'm telling you that is because the advice I'm going to provide may not be, I'm not speaking from a legal standpoint. My legal standpoint would be to call law enforcement and go and make sure you're safe. But my moral stance on that would be much different. It would be that you have a duty to make sure that child is safe. So there's legal obligations and moral obligations, and my moral compass would override my legal processes, right? Because it's a 4-year-old child. I'm a female, right? I love kids. So there is no ifs, ands, or buts about, am I going to stop and help this kid? But here's where the legality comes in. It would be my professional, no, I'm not going to say professional opinion. It's going to be my personal opinion that the best advice I can give you is to put that child into your car. Put that child into your car to make sure it doesn't run out in front of traffic. That could get some people in trouble, right? Putting an unknown child in your car. But if you sit there, there's no intent. So I'm not going to give legal advice on this. I'm just going to say best practices. What's the safest thing to do? And that's to keep your recorder on at all times. Record everything. Be a Betty, right? Be a Betty. Now people laugh at me for always recording everything when I'm out and about. You know what? If she would have had that recorder on, they would have seen that individual, they would have seen that car, and they would have most likely had a tag plate. Take a picture of that child and send it to a family friend, and some other photos that you can safely click, 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 send. I've already called law enforcement. I just wanted you to have some information, right? It's an extraordinary situation. It's an extraordinary situation, right? So you've got this situation where you see a kid on the side of the road, you want to help. My first thing is to help put that child in your car, because you don't know if that child will jet out in front of cars. And the last thing you need to see is a 4-year-old child being hit by a vehicle. It is one of the most, you don't need to see that. So it'd be mine. Call the cops first. Of course, Pebbles, but she did call the cops first. At that point, she should have made sure her and this child were safe. And I'm pretty sure she did. I heard that she did put this child in her car. Okay. So there was something there. Could that act, her putting that child in the back of her car, caused an additional, this person freaking out or something like that? Probably not. I think that this was a setup. I don't know why I have that that gut feeling that this was a setup, and she wasn't specifically targeted, but that area or that stretch of roadway was. And in that theory, comes along with, are there street cameras? On interstates, they usually have some type of traffic surveillance, right? To make sure that, and that's what they call it, traffic surveillance, because they don't want to say they're spying on the people, right? They have traffic surveillance. So those are those little tiny cameras on top of those poles as you go down the interstate that are like a little bubble. They're watching everything. They're watching everything. Those are what helps. Believe it or not, there are big buildings, right? And these buildings have huge screens, TV screens, computer screens, and everything. And on those has nothing but street views. All these cameras are on all these walls, and you can see the traffic. And you can see the flow of traffic. You can actually see accidents happen in real life on these cameras in this building. There are people that man them and watch them, believe it or not. It's not just a recording. There are people there watching this. That's their only job. Sit there and look. So I keep wanting to know, was this area targeted because of the lack of cameras? There are a lot of things. If this is what I think it could be, and I haven't stated one position or the other, but there's definitely something that doesn't smell right here. But if it is this ST, they are very sophisticated people. They've done this many, many times before. This would not be their first rodeo. These things would go into their decision making, where cameras are, where they're least obscured. But the good news is there's cameras somewhere. and there's cameras somewhere in that general vicinity that's going to ID that gray car. Now, granted, it's going to be it may take, a month to ID the vehicle, but I do believe there is something around there. He had to go somewhere. This day and age, it's hard to go anywhere without being spotted by some type of camera. What if the child is small person and pulls a knife? 4-year-old? No, 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 no. It's I mean, think about it. Even small persons, their faces are very much aged. Their skins are very much aged. I've met a lot of small people in my life, in my dealings, and going across the country, going around the state of Florida. I've met a lot of small people, and you can tell the difference of a small child versus a small person, and the facial features are what gives it off the most. It really is. It's the face. It's the first thing you see. And you're talking about this woman speaking to this boy and asking him, are you okay? She would have been close enough to see the facial features. We can. Yeah. What's going on here? Okay, first, I want to just address you real quick, and I'm going to address you as professionally as I can possibly do. First and foremost, ZA is part of my coffee club. Therefore, she's an extension of me, and you are in my house when you are here. The rules to conversate in the chat is to be respectful to everyone, okay, including me. We do not talk about other creators in our chat. It will be removed or deleted. And if it continues, it will be you will be blocked. This is not ZA is not another creator. She is a channel member. She is a supporter of this channel. And the one thing that I absolutely will refuse is you being rude to my audience. So I would ask you nicely to tone it down, please. We don't handle our business like that, and we don't talk to people in our chat like that. So I've never addressed you before. I'm sure you're a reasonable person. I understand talking about some of these cases, we get a little heated, a little hot under the collar. And sometimes I've done it myself, right? Everybody in this chat has probably got heated and said something that they wish they wouldn't. So we do understand that as well. But what I can't have is you being disrespectful to my audience. So I really do hope that you will just tone it down. Again, I've never addressed you before, and so why I'm addressing you, as nicely and as politely as I possibly can, because I've never seen you being like a normal offender, right? Like, we know the people. So I want to give you the benefit of the doubt and just let we're all really nice here. We don't try to club people over the head. We try to make it a debatable instead of a personal type of argument when we're talking about these cases. So we try not to get into the personal stuff, the personal insults, there's no right or wrong answers here, because we all just don't know. We're all all we have is the layer of facts, and we build upon that layer of facts, and we just go down the road, right? You just got to go down these trails and find out where they lead. So there's no need to get really hostile in here, right? It is emotional, but no need to be hostile to each other. So Pinocchio princess, just be kind. Or if you don't want to be here, because what will end up eventually happening if you're continuously being rude, you're just going to be blocked. So what's the point anyways? It kind of seems stupid and childish if you look at it from that angle, which I don't think you are, because I don't know you. So just be kind to the people in here. We got enough hate going around the internet. We have enough hate going around this world. This is not the place for it. We come here with love. So I would hope that you can appreciate that. And besides that, you wouldn't want to come here and have people jumping all over you either. I like the way, let's see here. Please use your personal block options if needed. So I see you. Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing. So if there is some type of, nastiness or anything, you can personally block these people so you don't see their commentary as well. That might be beneficial because in reality, you know, there may be, we have 323 people. There may be people that just absolutely just not, you know, every time you you're in a room together, you guys just, you know, butt heads. So, you know, if you know you're like that, maybe just block the person that gets your goat. You know what I'm saying? I do, right? I don't even address them. I just block them, right? I just block them. Just block them. Yes, thank you. Jay Quinn bringing information, you know, bringing it real. This is about a missing woman. It's not about your petty bull stuff, right? It's not necessary. There's no drama needed. A woman needs our help. A woman needs YouTube. A woman needs social media to help. They are begging for all eyes on this lady and to help find her. It is our responsibility, if we truly care about these people in these cases, to spread her face and her name around and tell her story. Because this could have happened to any one of us, and that should terrify everyone. Because don't sit there on your high horse and say you would have done something differently. You saw a little toddler on the side of the road, you know damn well you're going to stop. It could have been you. It could have been me. It could have been your sister, your daughter, your grandchild. It could have been any one of us. And whoever did this needs to be found and taken off the street so they can't hurt another person. This is scary. And this is serious. A semi driver did 100% give a statement. A silver car pulled up and a light-skinned male was getting out, walking toward the child and Carly. Yes. That's what makes me feel big and switchy. It's either that or this child lives close and he didn't like what Carly had to say about the child being on the side of the road. So something happened. She screamed. Did he pull out a gun, knife? This is serious. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm asking you kindly to let it go and move on. And I would think you would, again, I don't know you, but you're now coming after trying to be nasty to me. I can tell you that's not going to work if that conversation, if that's toward me, but you didn't say at BHP. So I'm going to act like it, maybe you were talking to somebody else, but nobody's here to beat you up. Are you? I've never seen you here. I never even say good morning to you. When's the last time I do a list? I've never said your name ever. So how do you mean? Unless you're watching, it to me sounds like you may not be here because you like the channel, because you're starting and stirring up nonsense with my audience. This is my last time I'm going to address you. If you would like to conversate in the chat, you may. Do it kindly. I can tell you, being nasty or rude to me, you're just going to be blocked. So again, woosah. It's not that big of a deal. In the grand scheme of things, it's not that big a deal. It's pretty petty. So everybody just chill. Just chill. No big deal. Play nice. Play nice or you'll be put in the corner. Well, grab the missing person flyer or picture, pass it around, leave the drama at the door, please. This is about a missing woman. Thank you. I do appreciate that. So we're not going to continue to go down this. It is what it is. You know, everybody just chill. It's not worth it. At the end of the day, we are advocating for a missing woman. And trust me, I think her problems supersede anybody's problems in this room. Why? Because you guys know where you're at and you guys are breathing, right? So there is that. There is that. Is there a police phone call recording? Yes, it's my understanding that there is a recording. They were very hush hush about that recording. They were very clinical about it. I doubt they're going to release it. I think it has some information on it. I don't know. I don't know. Those recordings that we do like on Messenger and stuff, because she called her family member, and I'm praying to God that this is like like I hate Big Brother, right? You guys know I complain about Big Brother all the time, right? So I hate Big Brother. And this is like one of those times where like I hope Big Brother was watching. Like, we had her family on there. They heard the scream. I'm hoping it was recorded so at least law enforcement can hear it. Law enforcement it's amazing. They have all these different technologies that we don't have or we could never afford to have that helps with noises. They can take down, like if you heard a bird chirping, they can remove that from the recording. They can isolate all the different sounds and then remove all those sounds so they have a clear hearing. They could hear what people are saying after you remove, like say all the cars that are driving past her, that sound. They can isolate that, remove that. They can amplify the voices, pitch the voices up, clarify. They can do all this massive stuff with their programming that we can't afford to have. And they might be able to hear something on that. So this is a situation where I almost hope that she was on Messenger, and I almost hope that Messenger, records all this stuff and behind the scenes, Big Brother and all. And I'm hoping that they can get that turned over to law enforcement or at least have an idea who this person was. But if this kid came from that area, this woman has been injured or hurt or being held against her will by somebody very close. It's either that or she's long gone. And this was a bait and switch, and they picked her up and took her. But it's the kid. That's where I have my problem. It's the kid. And it's the kid and him not speaking. She could have been followed. This all pre-med. Yeah. You know what, Snow? That is hard to do. That is ultra hard to do. Think about what goes into setting up a person. I know your schedule, and I'm going to set something up to get you. That is a very difficult thing to do, and here is why. Because there are so many variables in your schedule. Many of us, after work, a coworker may say, hey, you know what? Me and the girls are going out. Like even the restaurant, the food. How would they know that she was going to stop for food? And even if she did stop for food, how do they know she was going to take it to go versus eating there? And how would they know how long it was going to take her to get her food? Steffel says, Betty, my child is the little girl, but will not ever speak public, and she will be, but will never speak in public, and she'll be 6 years old. Oh, I've always wanted that. I wanted that because I guess I got away from him. I'm like, oh, she said she brightens my day every day, and you know that because that's the only reason why I keep her up there. But you know what? And even her, it's like, if she was walking down the road, you cannot tell me everybody in my chat right now wouldn't have stopped to help a kid that had no parents on the side of an interstate. For the love of God, if we are that desensitized where we just drive by, shame on us. Shame on us. So I'm taking this case very personally because I do believe that I think she was set up, but I don't think they knew who they were setting up. You see what I'm saying? I think it was one of those things where, I keep wondering how many more people stopped or whatever, And even that, why didn't anybody else call law enforcement? So there's a lot of questions I have with this case that I'm not answering. Maybe somebody in the area can help me answer them. If you're in Hoover and know these questions, maybe you can kind of shed some light on this whole thing. Shed some light on this entire thing, So, like, for example, I want to know how long it would have taken cops to get to that area normally. did they have any other calls that came in about a kid? Because the reason why I asked that question, maybe even in a different area, not necessarily this stretch of roadway, maybe a different area. Maybe they tried this in a different area and somebody called it in, but maybe it was a guy or maybe it was a couple and they had to go and scoop the kid and take off because they are not looking for couples. They're looking for single females. So we don't know. Those are questions I have that are very, very important. How many calls over the last week came in about a child standing somewhere alone without a parent in that community, in that general area? I'm curious about that. I think it's, let's see. I think it's motherly instincts in us. I asked my husband if he would take a missing child to an adult. He said no. Interesting. Yeah, it's got to be the motherly thing. I believe he picked the time and place and would known a woman would stop. And that's kind of what and he would have been looking. Think about the timing at night. Think about the timing at night. This probably is, it sounds like an interstate. It's like Interstate 459. And many of us live in like me, I have I-75 and it's ultra busy, right? Like cars going all day, every day, doesn't matter day or night. The road is always being used. But some of these interstates, especially in these rural areas, I'm not saying this area is rural, but in rural areas are actually 2-lane highways that they kind of use for the interstate. They're designated as interstate, but they're not really interstate. There's not a whole lot of people that drive on it. I don't know if that's the case for this road or not. Let's go look. I actually have, these are questions we can answer right now. So we might as well go Hoover. I-459, Hoover, Alabama, right? Is that right? I'm pulling it up now. Give me just a second, guys. We'll find out where this. I'm curious about the road. What's making all these emotions come up with me though is the boy. It's the toddler being there at 9:30 at night on the side of a freaking highway. That just seems odd to me. It doesn't seem normal. I'm checking on my daughter multiple times. Yeah. All right, let me go in here and go find Hoover, Alabama. Might as well watch. Guys, might as well watch it go. Watch it move. Oh, it didn't even hit. I burn it. Is it gonna? My computer's getting so slow. So here's the interstate. Let me move this. Not actually. This is a pretty big interstate. This is not no. That's a pretty freaking big interstate, guys. So I'm looking for exit 10. Now, granted, I don't know if this is exit 10 or not. But if this is exit 10, the police department's right here. How is it? Now, I'm maybe not. Maybe it didn't read me, but that is a huge interstate, guys. This is not 1-lane highway interstate that I was just referring to. This is it looks like a 3-lane highway, at least a 2-lane highway on both sides. This looks like something that would be busy, but I don't know if it would be busy at 9:30 at night. But here's the library over here in this building right here, right off the library. is the police department. Now, I don't know if that's the, let me see if I can get walkability. Hold on here. Let me see if I can go down to going down as a person. Let's see. All right, this will help me. Or at least I think it will. Okay, no, that's not. That's 13. 13B. So let's keep going down and see if we can find 10. Let's see if we can go this way. All right, so that's 13. So no, it looks like the police department is at exit 13B because they're right off 13B. And let me go back to the 2D version. Hold on. Okay, so that's exit 13. Let me mark that real quick. Sorry, it's making me set up the one. So this is be Carly. All right, so we're going to save a project. This is going to be landmark exit 13. AB. Okay. There we go. Now we just got to find exit 10. So we're not too far, but I want to see what's in that general area. So let's go back. So there's one. So which one is this one? Oh, this one doesn't even allow people to get off there. I have to go back further. Sorry, guys. I figure while you're on here, I'm going to have to do this anyway, so I might as well do it while you're on here. So it looks like we have. All right, let me just pull this down. That's 15. So we went further back. Okay, so that means it's up further. So give me just a second. So that's 15. That's exit 13. So it's this way. Let's see. I don't know. The more we go this way, look how secluded it is. But we do know it's 3 lanes. But look at all this shrubbery and bushes. This is not looking good, guys. I don't know how to explain it. Sorry, I'm not even looking at your comments. Let me go over here. Whoever it is, in my opinion, figured a female worked at night and a possible stop for a child is great. Yeah, but this seems like a big interstate, and there's a lot of houses and stuff around. There's a lot of stuff around here, guys. I mean, I need to find exit 10, but I mean, look at all these houses. So let me see. Here we go. I think we can get down here. Let me see what exit this one is. We need to find exit 10. Exit 10, right there. We're at exit 10, guys. So this is right at exit 10. Now, I don't know what side of the road she was on. Do we know if she was heading north or south? Because I might be on the wrong interstate. But we're at exit 10. So let me go ahead and pull this back up. So there's exit 10. Okay, exit 10. So let's look at what's around her. So what in the world is this thing right here? Or this thing right here? Am I crazy to think that this Green Veil Pediatrics is awfully close to where a child was found? And maybe it's maybe I don't know. Let's go down here into the parking lot if we can. Let's see what this is. I can't tell what this is. Let me see if I can go backwards. So it looks like, all the trees. I can't see what it is. Reavers, REV. So it looks like a lot of medical stuff is around there. I wonder if that was a hospital. I wonder if that was a hospital. Huh. Now let's go to the other side. Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. No, I want to go back. No. Okay. So what in the world is this over here? Target. Target's right there. How fitting. So in reality, now that I'm seeing this, I just believe it was some type of ST, guys. I'm telling you, there's just something not sitting right with me, and it has to do with the boy. Now, let's look at this. Now, I'm not saying that this has happened. Just looking at this, no good deed goes unpunished. Absolutely, Susie Sue. She's on the wrong side of the highway. Mods, can you alert Betty, please? I knew I was on the wrong side of the highway. I wanted to check to see what, because I believe that this child came from the area. So the area, like when you're doing a radius, so I knew I was on the side, but I wanted to see what I was looking at. So we have a pediatric and medical type facility on the other side. And on this side of the road for exit 10, we have a Target store. Now, listen to me. Just bear with me here. Now, if this was some type of sting, okay, do you know it isn't normal to stay on the phone with 911 and they would give her, isn't it normal to stay on? Yes, it is. Like, and not only that, but 9:30 at night. But it wasn't an emergency. I think is the difference. When you're in an emergency situation, they keep you on the phone until somebody gets there. But there's been many things that I've called in over the years, where they've said, okay, well, an officer's been dispatched. Just go ahead and make sure you're in a safe place. In emergency type of situations where they need to make sure that the person gets to you, yeah, they will stay on the phone with you. But in a situation where you're in a safe, what you perceive a safe place. Now, obviously, it wasn't safe for her, but a place where you perceive to have a safe, you're in a safe place. You're just sitting there waiting for law enforcement. She's on an interstate. Everybody can see you on an interstate. Think of how crazy it is to think that this woman was abducted from the interstate, the side of the road on an interstate that is 3 roads wide. 3 roads wide. So now this gives me a different perspective, because this would have been an easy way for them to park across the street, set up that little boy there, and then come around and grab her. But I'm still having a problem with this. But this is not sounding good. This sounds like something different. And having that big Target store there, as opposed to I was kind of hoping to have a whole bunch of housings. And there is housing further down. And she wasn't right here on top of Target either. This is the exit. And they said she was a little, hold on, sorry, guys. They said that she was just a little before I-10 or the 10. So here is also a housing area. And this is Shades Mountain Community Park. And this is where a child could literally just cut across through some trees and be standing on the side of the road. So still with both of these things, I can't make heads or tails of which one I want. Somebody knows something. Absolutely snow. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think we can all agree that everybody knows something. I'm a little behind, and this may have been talked about already, but why didn't dispatch stay on the line until the cops got there? It might have been that they said, the cops are, she may have said, listen, my sister is calling in. Can I call you back? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know what the situation is, but I can tell you it's not, it wouldn't be uncommon in this situation. If they did disconnect on the telephone, I don't think it would have been anything out of the ordinary for this type of call. I really don't. Now, granted, and this might be another thing for you, for our audience, and for people that are watching this on the replay, maybe that is something you need to consider doing, is staying. When you call law enforcement, stay on the phone with them. Don't get off the phone with them until you see a patrol car pull up. Look on Google Earth by Hoover Lake House and a gazebo. It's a walking path that leads from the next street over to the highway. It's also a police station nearby. Yeah, the police station's like nearby. It's only at exit 13, right? So I clearly saw a police station at exit 13. So this happened so quickly. I would like to know how long from the time she called to the time her sister heard the scream, or her mother heard the scream, whoever was on the phone, the family member that heard the scream. I'd like to know how much time lapsed from the time she made the 911 call to the time her sister heard the scream, because they weren't that far down the road that they couldn't have sent somebody. You've got a young child walking on an interstate, a very large interstate. This interstate's the size of State Road 70, I-75 here in my county. This is a huge highway. I wasn't expecting this. When I actually looked at this highway and saw how wide it is, this doesn't make sense. Something happened. So, and I don't know what it is, but it stinks to high heaven for me. It stinks to high heaven for me. Okay, look, Google Earth to the lake house. Okay, let's get over here. Now, I don't know. Should I type, will they know where the lake house is? Hoover Lake House and gazebo. Hold on. Okay. Oh, so that's down there by exit 13 where the police station was. Yeah. Would it be uncommon if this was a setup for somebody to be sitting out here on exit 13, the boy being on the side of the road, somebody's at a lookout, either in that complex or at the target, saying, hey, somebody stopped, with binoculars. Something like this would be that kind of coordinated, planned attack when you're looking for somebody to ST. I don't know. Trying to type Hoover House and Lake House. Thank you, flashy lights. I did pull it up, but the police department wasn't that far away, and I think that's even more of a concern for me. So you got a child on the side of the road, you got a woman stopping to help, law enforcement en route, very close in proximity. By looking at this, something had to be caught on a camera somewhere. I'm sorry. Maybe I know what we can do. I know what might be beneficial. I know I have truckers that watch me, big rig truckers. And I know they watch my replay crew. And maybe we need to identify our big rigs. If our big rigs are out here in Alabama and have been in Alabama on Thursday night driving through this area, any other vehicle driving through this area that has audio, like cameras on their vehicle for liability purpose. A lot of people have makeshift cameras in their car. They actually have audio cameras now that record everything. And it's just in case there's an accident, something happens. People are on, people record everything this day and age. So how old is the child? 3 or 4 years old. So a child of that age could be very well manipulated. Okay, not know they're doing anything wrong. They're used as bait. God knows what this child has already gone through. It doesn't sound good, in my opinion. It doesn't sound good. But we have a lot of big rigs. And the reason why I'm calling out the big rigs is because I know that they have cameras. I know most of our buses have cameras all the way around them. So like the Greyhounds and stuff like that, they're equipped with exterior cameras. We need to find people that were traveling through this area, check Mod Squad, that were traveling through this area at this time that might have captured something on their car video and audio. Their car video and audio. Oh, here we go. Guys, give me just a second. All right, let me pull this up. Let's see what we can get. Let's see. Can't see what I'm doing on my screen. Back in the day, everything was caught. Okay, hold on. Give me just a second. So here's some of the, there it is. This is the traffic camera at the time of Carly Russell's disappearance. There's a lot of people on this road at night, guys. Look how dark it is. Thank you, by the way, Sonia. Thank you. I'm trying to see if this is the time. I'm trying to see this little kid she's talking about on the side of the road. Unless the little kid's already in her car. You can... Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to pay attention. So just give me, it's a 4-minute and 40-second video. So I'm just trying to see if I can make any heads or tails. There is no way they would have been able to get her without coming out from those woods. I don't know. This is entirely too busy for somebody to think to snatch somebody. The only way he would have coerced her if he was the person in the car. The only way he would have been able to coerce her into the vehicle without making a scene of snatching would be if he had a weapon. I don't know. It's, yes. Don't forget to say thanks. Guys, give a thumbs up. She stopped. Let's see what it says. She stopped right at mile marker sign. Yeah, we're seeing her stop. That is the mile marker sign. That's the exit 10 mile marker sign that you see those flashing lights right there. But what I don't see is another car pulling up. And there's only been one person that says he believes that there was a gray car. And then granted, there may very well be. I mean, I trust eyewitness. You know, sometimes people just see something and say to themselves, and then when they're asked to come back and whatnot. But there's her car blinking. So we know that at least this camera, so they do have, now granted, it's not a very good video, you know, it's not like I'm seeing it on my screen. Let me see if I can blow this up just a little bit. I don't even think I can blow this up. Don't even let me make it bigger. Okay. Why is this doing this? Sorry. Oh, that's why. There we go. But let me blow it up. There we go. Had to exit out to blow it up. So there's her car blinking right at the mile marker sign. But I really haven't. OMG.
My name's Captain Keith Escalita.
Whoa! Whoa! We saw nothing until law enforcement pulled up. What? I'm sorry. I saw no car get in front of her. And I did see her car move to that mile marker sign. We need to watch that again. Something is not right with this. There's her car moving. That is her car moving right there with her flashers on. There is no car in front of her. There's no car behind her. Sorry, I gotta follow okay. We see this car here getting over. I don't see any car in front of her. I see no car behind her. We see tractor trailers. And there, nothing. You see nothing. Let me move this. I see a door open. It looks like a door's open right here on the passenger side of the car. I don't see any other. It almost seems like somebody is standing right there. You can't even see my cursor, but it looks like somebody's standing not right there. Yeah. Where do they go? Hold on. It looks like somebody is standing right here. I can see it moving, and it looked like somebody just jetted. Huh. I see no other car. I see no other car in front of her or behind her. I don't see the figure there, and I don't see her car door open anymore. Can you guys see this well on your screen? I mean, I got it blown up on my bigger screen here, but, and you'll watch it, and nothing happens. I see no car pull up to her the entire time. I saw the car drive to that position. So we have to believe she was in the car at that time, but it had her flashers already on. Maybe she saw the guy back here. Maybe they saw the guy back here, and maybe they abducted her back here and then drove her car up to this sign. We need to find out about that 911 call, because I've got a lot of questions with that. I don't see a car in front of her. I don't see a car. I see it almost looks like a figure on the passenger side of the car door. It looks like the car door is open and there's a figure there. And then all of a sudden there's not. And you almost see like this, because these images typically, this is a camera. I mean, this is a full rolling camera. This is not one of, it doesn't look like stilled shots. This looks like an actual recording, traffic cameras. We need CCTV footage before Way went on. Before Way went on, yeah. What does it say? We need CCTV footage before 4 ways went. Oh, I don't know if you're trying to be funny. I'm not even in that frame. Not planned, pulled over, and homeless man sleeping in the bushes or woke up and he pounced. Well, where did the kid go, though? Where's the kid? There's still nobody that pulled up there until we saw the flashing lights of the cops. Yeah, somebody did report seeing a silver car, but this is the recording. I see no car pulling up to her vehicle. So what I'm assuming may have happened. This is just an assumption. I could be wrong. I think the boy was further down. I think she got the boy in her car, called law enforcement, and she told law enforcement she would meet them up at the sign or where she was. Now, back here, that gray car and that man could have taken her, or somebody could have taken her into their vehicle, and somebody could have pulled that vehicle up to that mile marker 10. Because I watched that vehicle go up to mile marker 10. I clearly see a door opening, and I clearly see somebody going into, almost looking like they're going into the woods. And the only other time I see anything is when the law enforcement comes up there. So I'm wondering if the person that's driving this car to the sign was even her. I don't know. I feel like something may have happened further back here, because she already had her flashers on when she was pulling up. So that would have already said she had stopped back here to pick up the boy. Or the child. I don't know if it was boy or girl. I'm assuming it's a boy, because for whatever reason, I think I heard that. But, just for how long were her blinkers on before she stopped? I don't know, because when she got into the view of this camera, they were already blinking. So that tells me that there was already a situation that happened outside of the blinkers. Guys, I think I don't know what to think of this, but this feels to me like something more than a simple abduction. There was a kid there. There was a kid there. There was a kid. It's the kid that's got me. Anyways, I think we've got this. Again, I want you guys to go around and do everything you can to help this young, beautiful woman. I'm hoping that other people out there will, start talking about her, because it really could have been any of us. And this doesn't seem right. It's not sitting with me right. I know it's not sitting with anybody right now, but we're trying to determine. But this just has all the hallmarks of what I would perceive as a ST or a HT type of abduction. Yes, before blinkers footage. Yes, there was some blinker. So how it went is there was some blinkers. The car pulls into the frame of the camera with the blinkers already on. That indicates to me, in Alabama, yes, Kimberly, that indicates to me she already had the kid in the car. She already saw the kid way back here and pulled up to that sign. Or that car could have, that trucker that saw that gray car, we heard her scream. She could have been thrown into a truck. There could have been another person that got out and moved her car up there, took her stuff out and scattered it on the ground, and then took off in the bushes to the car waiting for them. Something's going on here. But like I said, mark my words, it has something to do, that little boy too. I bet, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think this would be one of those situations. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. She's a beautiful woman. And again, it was in not broad daylight, but it was in a very busy area. We just watched. I mean, it wasn't like, if I saw a kid on the side of the road and I called law enforcement and I was where she was, I would not feel unsafe. You hear me? I would not feel unsafe. I would not have felt unsafe at all. Because did you see all the cars? How could you feel unsafe with that many cars passing you? Who the heck would think that somebody is going to pull up to you and snatch you? This is a situation where I believe somebody got out of their vehicle. She probably screamed because he had a gun on her and made her get in. Let me tell you, ladies, something. You never leave your location. Because if you leave to go to a second location with that person, but you will probably not make it back. I would rather throw a scene up there. You never go. Don't ever go to a second location, folks. I don't care if you've got to run. I don't care if you get stabbed. I don't care if you get shot. You're going to be better off trying to stay where you're at than going with them. Do not go. You make a scene, you fight, you kick, you do whatever you can possibly do to bring attention to yourself. I don't have my keys here. Olivia, over a year ago, when we were actually covering the Paula Miranda, and we were out there in the wilderness and we had gotten lost for that 5 minutes. We got backwards and we're like, 5 minutes felt like eternity. So Olivia got us these whistles that have like little compasses in them. So it does a little more. It's got like a thermometer on the side of it, a compass on it, and it's a whistle. I think everybody needs to get a whistle. I really do. I know, we cover this stuff. It's become a crazy world out there. And it is so scary to think that you can stop to help a child that is on the side of the road and you disappear on your way home. She was only 10 minutes away from her home, guys. She was only 10 minutes away from her home. I feel that there's more here. Could it have been a setup by somebody she knows? It could have, but it would have been very difficult to do. It would have been very difficult to do. You friggin' fight. You damn right. But don't go to that second location, guys. I'm telling you, if they're taking me to a second location, they're dragging a dead body. Okay? That's all I'm going to tell you. For me, if I put in a situation and they're wanting me to go, they're dragging a dead body. That's it. You kill me here, but I ain't going with you there. They're dragging my dead body. Right? And I'm not making light of that, but that's how much I'm trying to express to my audience. You don't go to a second location. They have a gun on you. You're scared. You're not thinking. You don't move. Don't go to a second location. You stay there where people are because you have a better chance of surviving whatever they're going to do to you with a bunch of people around. The people spring into action. It's not going to be a good situation, but this is not. This is bad, guys. All right, I got to move on because I'm getting this is sad. It's sad and bad. No wonder no one wants to help others anymore when things like, they record. Nobody helps. They pull out the recordings, start recording. And quite frankly, I mean, lawfully, that's probably the best thing you can do, right? Not lawfully, but, legally, civil case wise, tort wise, not being sued. Because you jump in, you're either going to get hurt or you're going to get sued. Potentially, you could potentially get sued, right? But when I was in school, when I was studying my paralegal stuff and all that, that was one of the things that they had told me. One of the lessons learned was, a lot of people, they used it. They're like, it was a hypothetical case where a person was choking. This was kind of the case study. So the person was at a restaurant and was choking on a meatball or some type of food. I can't remember what the example was. It was some sort of food. This person is choking. And so a non-medical person decided to give them the Heimlich or something. They got the food out, but whatever happened, they weren't breathing. And so they had to do chest compressions. Well, during those chest compressions, a rib broke and punctured a lung. Okay, so they're trying to save the life. The person lived, but the liability of the person trying to save that person, like that person would have been dead if this good Samaritan wouldn't have jumped into place, did the Heimlich, the Heimlich maneuver, and gave mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. But in the process, he injured the person, and that person is now seeking damages for their injuries. The punctured lung and broken rib, right? So people don't realize that you can be a good Samaritan and help somebody, and somebody could be a crotchety old, bee and sue you for helping them. Many people that has happened in the past. We had a case study in my school on it, right? So it definitely happens. So there's a lot of things that are making people not want to help anymore. And so what do? They record and upload. Like that does a whole lot of good. It's sad. It's sad, but we have things like this that happen, and we also have things like lawsuits that happen, and it really prevents people. That's why I said, my legal sense would be to leave the child there, but my moral sense would be to help, right? So but legally, putting that child in your car, somebody could allege you're kidnapping that child. Like there could be, even though your intent's not there, it could be easily explained, but you see where I'm going with this. So lawfully, like for to make sure that you're not taking on any kind of legal responsibility, the best bet would be to leave the child, right? But who could? Who could, right? And that's where this becomes so scary. Because like I say to my audience, it could have been any one of us, because we would have all done the same thing. We would see a child, our hearts would be like, oh my God. We would pull over. We would check that child for injuries, scratches, cuts. We would ask the child if they're okay. Where did you come from? Where's your mommy and daddy? That's what we would do. That's what every one of us would have done. And that's what makes it so scary. All right, guys, we spent an hour and a half advocating for her. Hopefully you guys move this forward. You pick up the torch. You're the audience. I talk to you guys all the time about how the audience, right? They help us so much in these cases. So you guys go out, you go and advocate for this woman. People that are in Alabama, if you're in Hoover, Alabama, the family is putting together search parties. Help. If one of my coffee clubbers are out there and you guys need flyers, I will ship you guys flyers. I will ship you guys laminated flyers. I will ship you whatever you need to help and aid in finding this missing woman. So please reach out to me if I have any of my coffee club family out there, or any part of the Turtle Gang out there in Hoover, Alabama. I'd like to ship you some stuff to help search for her. So just reach out to me, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Again, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Getting on to, actually, I'm not even sure if I really want to go on to Rex. Rex is almost alive all in and of itself, and we're already at 2 hours. You know what? I'm going to wait to go over Rex. We'll probably do another live later this evening when I get back. And we'll go over Rex and an update on Chad Dorman. That's what we'll do. Betty, we had someone here in Mobile, Alabama that was putting a baby's car seat and baby doll in it on the side of the road, interstate, to carjack people a few years ago. Oh my goodness. So guys, we need to be cognizant. People, again, we are prey. right? We are also prey. We don't ever want to, like, I never want to consider myself a victim or something that, where I feel victimized or, victimisk. I don't know how to explain it. Nobody wants to put themselves in that position or point themselves. But, at the end of the day, we're prey. We're somebody's prey. I was taught a long time ago, many, many years ago, that there's always somebody bigger and badder than you. No matter how big or bad you are, there's always somebody bigger. I mean, look at, that Rex, the one we were just Hoover, Howerman. How did I say it? It was like Howerman. I think that's how it is. Huerman. That's right. Huerman. It's like Herman. Huerman. So Rex Huerman, he's 6'4". He's a massive person. Massive. And he's not only tall, but he's big. But he had that mild and meek manner that was able to deceive because you got to think these escorts, they got pretty good sense. They trust their instincts. So this guy wasn't giving them any red flags to get in the car, at least. Now, maybe when they got back, they might have been getting, like the EBGBs, but at least his first appearance wasn't that of somebody that was not trustworthy. I mean, they have a good sense. In most cases, they put themselves in a lot of danger, but they still have they do it so often. You kind of have a sense to it. So there's that. At vacation, they threw kids up toward me. I said, "Oh my God," I grabbed the baby and they stole my purse. Oh my God, are you serious? But nobody wants to think of themselves as a victim. Nobody wants to, but we have to take precautions because we are prey. So everybody, even the male guys out there, you guys got to take precautions too. I mean, really, you have to take precautions too. Everybody needs to take precautions. My recommendation is when you're in a situation that's not normal, like a child on the side of the road, a baby in a car seat, record everything. Record. Like, it's easy for me because I've got like so many darn phones that I have. I could literally just boop, boop, boop and have like five phones rolling on someone at one time, never mind the camcorder or the Canon, the Rebel. We got a lot of cameras, but that's my job. So I don't anticipate my audience having that many cameras. But anyways, we're going to go over Rex, I think, later today. We're already at the top of 2 hours. I've got things I've got to do today. I'll be gone out of the office for probably a few hours. And then hopefully I'll be back in time to run a live tonight on Rex. If not, we'll go over Rex. I mean, this stuff is pretty disturbing. We'll go over Rex stuff and Chad Dorman. Chad Dorman is, I'm going to update you on that. That's the father that gunned down his 3 children, called law enforcement and waited for them to come and arrest him. This is just another bizarre case. Some people, I don't understand how some of this stuff goes on, but it does. But anyways, I want to take the time to thank all of you. I also want to remind you all, quit taking life so seriously. Quit being, be kind. Be kind. We could all use some kindness. We cover such horrible cases. My birthday's coming up in September, and the birthday present that I want from my audience in September, don't do it now and then say, "Oh, well, I gave you a birthday gift, back there in July." No. So what I want my audience to do, or the people that support me, is on my birthday, I am doing an initiative where I want people, I don't want things. I don't want gifts. I want people doing their part for their communities. So I would like for everybody to do either an act of kindness. I would prefer donation of time. I would love everybody to donate their time to either a soup kitchen, an animal shelter, maybe handing out, free food to people in need from your church. But I really want people to do an act of service for a perfect stranger or for somebody that is struggling in their life. I want that. That's what I want for my birthday. And the reason why I'm telling many people about it this early on is because some of these places, like with the animals and stuff, it's not where you can just walk up and volunteer. You have to go in, you have to apply, they have to do some sort of background check to make sure you're not an animal abuser or whatever, and then they have to approve you. So I wanted to make sure that everybody had an opportunity to figure out their act of service for my birthday, and give them time to get the necessary paperwork in to the shelter or wherever they're going to be donating their time to volunteer. So if you guys would like to, it's just, I thought, what do I really want? And at the end of the day, I really want love to be passed around. And there's nothing more loving than doing acts of kindness for people. So I thought that would be really special for my birthday from my audience if you would like to participate. So with that, guys, I want you to have an amazing Saturday. I want you to get off your butt and go do something, right? We are inside way too much. And I know I have a lot of housebound and bedridden people that watch my channel every single day. And that's okay. Move the bed. Have your people move the bed. I want you to see a different view, right? See a different view. And for those that just can't, I just want to tell you, I love you and God bless you. But the people that can, look out, enjoy the day, get outside, go do something fun, go watch a movie, go to the beach, go to the park, get some fresh air, and be kind. Be kind to one another. That's really the messaging. Be kind to one another. Sometimes kindness gets you jammed up. And this poor woman that we're talking about, right, Carly, kindness, didn't turn out so well. We'll be monitoring the case. Please pass her face, her name around. If these chat rooms aren't talking about her, make the conversation about her. That's what you can do. You can do your part to bring this woman home. Bring this woman home safely. Bring this woman home back to her family. Her family is worried sick, and something definitely happened. God bless you. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, be kind to one another. And we're going to go out with a little different messaging.
Here